It's Marco from Luso Overland, and today I'm going to show you how to remove the center console in a Gen 2 or Gen 2.5 Montero. That's 1992 to 2000. So I'm talking about basically like all of this plastic and this armrest. You know, lots of reasons why you might need to remove these. If you're adding switches, or you need to make a repair like your cigarette lighter, or on your transfer case lever if the fulcrum ball underneath there has disintegrated, which is real common on the Gen 2.5 ones. In my case, I'm going to take this off because the transmission shifter bushings have worn away and this is all sloppy. So that's what this is for. So anyways, and I should also mention that there are two different armrest designs. Like from here forward, it's pretty much the same. But from here back, there was a higher armrest that came out that you'll see on the Gen 2.5s, like in 98 through 2000. I can't remember if the 97s have it as well, but either way, you'll either have a short armrest like this or a tall one. It doesn't really affect much. There's a couple extra screws on the newer design, but for the most part, this video will cover it. Okay, so for the first step, just go ahead and remove this screw, and same thing on the other side. Okay, and yes, you can see that this is probably the dirtiest Montero ever. Next step, go ahead and take off the lever, the knob on the top of the transfer case lever. So just turn it to the left, and then that will screw off like this. And when you take this off, sometimes the nut comes with it, and there also might be a washer, so just be aware of that. Okay, I think there's supposed to be a washer in there. I can't quite remember. Next, you're going to take like a small screwdriver or a pick, and you're going to pry off this plastic cover right here. You can either come from behind like that, or if it's easier, you can take one of these backing switch plates off, and then you can just grab it and pop it off like that. And that is going to expose those two screws. So you can take those out. Probably easier if you have like a magnetized screwdriver or a telescoping magnet tool to reach those. If I remember right, on the taller console version, so that's going to be way down in there, so you're going to need like a really long screwdriver. And yeah, really no big deal with taking it off, but when you reinstall it, it might be a little tricky. Like I said, you might need to magnetize your screwdriver, or I actually think they might be like have a hex head on the Gen 2.5 ones. So what I like to do is you can take like a piece of electrical tape and put it over the opening of a socket, and then push that fastener into the socket, and that little bit of electrical tape will make it fit in there tighter and hold it in there until you push it down and start twisting it, and then you'll be able to get it off. I hope that makes sense. Or maybe just a telescoping magnet tool will help you get it started. But anyway, you'll take those two screws out, and then you'll open up your console and just remove these two. And again, on the newer consoles, I think there's 4. I think there's 2 more in the front, and there's also going to be like a cup holder thingy. Maybe that needs to come out before you can access these. It'll make sense once you're there. I'm just trying to remember from years ago. Okay, so with those out, I forgot to mention, you definitely need to take this nut off right here. It'll just kind of, you can probably force it, but the boot needs to come off with it, so it'll kind of hang up. All right, now we can simply pull this back section off. Just have to pull right there, and then it's kind of tricky, but just kind of because of the e-brake, just got to kind of pull it like that, and then off it comes. On this is a 94 with, it's kind of Spartan. On yours, if you've got switches in here, like heated seats back here, you're probably gonna have a wire harness that is obviously coming up from the floor and attaching to those switches. So before you'll be able to pull it all the way off, you'll only be able to lift it up a little bit, like tilt it back, and then you'll be able to come in and unplug any wire harnesses that are keeping it stuck. We're ready to pretty much remove this front part. On the taller console ones, you will have a screw right there that needs to come out, and then you'll be able to remove it as well. So the first thing we need to do is we just need to slide the boot over like that, and then we can start to lift this console out, but there's going to be a couple wire harnesses that are still attached. So you can see there's a big one here. Again, this 94 doesn't have many features, so like this harness here isn't hooked up to anything. You might have to undo that. I've got on this side the harness for the seat belt for the driver. You might have one for the passenger, and then there's going to be at least one or two more connections underneath, but you'll see them once you lift this up, and you can kind of look underneath from the front. You can lift it up, you can look underneath and disconnect anything that you need to. But for me, it's just going to be this main one and driver's seat belt, and then I think that's it actually. So then you can start to lift up your console, and you'll see that it doesn't quite come off because it's hitting right there. So if you're having problems with the transmission shifter, or any of these shifters are getting in your way, put the vehicle in neutral while you're doing this. That'll give you some more clearance. And then just to press the button, and that'll give you the clearance you need to get this out.